check this out. The 1983 movie The Return of Captain Invincible might just be one of the wildest cult films to come out of the 80s. We're talking a total mashup of superhero parody, musical numbers, political send-ups, and enough campy weirdness to fill a dozen movies. People mostly ignored it when it came out, but now it's got this loyal cult following who love the over-the-top jokes, the oddball humor, and watching Christopher Lee do things you'd never expect. Here's the gist. Directed by Philippe Mora and written by Stephen E. D'Souza and Peter Smalley, this Aussie flick stars Alan Arkin, Christopher Lee, and Kate Fitzpatrick. It dropped in 1983, runs a little over an hour and a half, and lands somewhere between musical, superhero comedy, and political satire. So the story goes like this. Captain Invincible, Alan Arkin, used to be America's favorite hero back in dubious times. Dude could fly, control magnets, and was basically a good guy everyone loved. Then things got weird in the McCarthy era. Suddenly he's labelled a commie, a drunk, and apparently public cape wearing wasn't in fashion. He gets cancelled hard and basically vanishes. Fast forward a few decades, and his old enemy, Mr. Midnight, Christopher Lee, channeling full-on evil genius vibes, is back with some wild world domination scheme involving a mind control ray. Humanity's doomed unless Captain Invincible sobers up and saves the day. Oh, one catch. The captain's now an alcoholic, washed up and hiding in Australia. Can he clean up his act in time to fight evil? Good question. And yeah, did we mention it's a musical? The songs are by Richard O'Brien and Richard Hartley. Yep, from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And the musical numbers are a trip. Some highlights. Bullshit. Politics get roasted. The Captain Invincible theme makes fun of superhero swagger. Evil Midnight. Christopher Lee going full drama and deep-voiced gloom. Drink. Watch Dracula himself try to tempt our hero back to the bottle. Absolutely legendary. The music swings between hilarious, bombastic, and weirdly touching. Totally fits the movie's wacky mood. As for the themes, this movie is sharp with its satire, taking shots at American patriotism, Cold War paranoia, and clueless governments. Plus, way before Watchmen or The Incredibles, it actually pokes holes in the whole superhero thing and asks what happens when heroes aren't so heroic. Believe it or not, there's also a surprisingly real look at alcoholism. Between all the gags, Alan Arkin's character brings some pathos to his battle with addiction. You can also tell it's an Australian film. It's irreverent, proud of its low-budget charm, and never takes itself too seriously. Alan Arkin is basically perfect as Captain Invincible. He finds just the right mix of sad sack comedy, reluctant hero moments, and deadpan delivery. Even if his singing is rough, he totally sells it. But let's be real, Christopher Lee kinda steals the show. He chews the scenery as Mr. Midnight and looks like he's loving every second. If you've never seen Dracula sing an ode to booze, you owe yourself a watch. Now, things weren't all smooth behind the scenes. The movie struggled to find its audience since it was too weird for the superhero crowd and too offbeat for musical fans. It barely got released, didn't make much money at all, and the soundtrack is now this rare collector's item for die-hard fans. Fun fact, Alan Arkin reportedly hated making it and pretty much won't talk about it. Over time, though, the return of Captain Invincible started popping up at midnight screenings and in cult circles, getting compared to other oddball favourites like Buckaroo Banzai, Flash Gordon, and Barbarella. If you love that kind of stuff, you'll probably dig this. A few trivia bites. Richard O'Brien, yup, Rocky Horror guy, wrote the songs, which totally explains the tone. The US didn't even get an official release until years later on home video. Alan Arkin is not a fan. He's dodged questions about this film for decades. So, should you give it a shot? Well, if you're into cult musicals, think Shock Treatment, Phantom of the Paradise, or The Apple. Or you love a good superhero spoof, or you just like finding the weirdest movies you can, then yes, Absolutely, yes. The return of Captain Invincible is bizarre, chaotic, sometimes brilliant, and honestly, you kinda have to see it to believe it.